Hi, it's Russ from the Air Users blog, and I thought this time I'd give you a little insight into the Vyzex Venom editor. And this is what you get. It's bundled free, and it's made by a third-party company who've made this for several different companies like Akai and Roland. And so you get this free, and news on the streets, and if you're actually reading the manual, when you actually open the manual for this, if you ever bother to open the manual, on page 1 it says that there's going to be a VST AU version of this editor that will then plug in. I do hope that somehow it'll work in Artas, which would be brilliant, but who knows. Anyway, it works standalone. You can work in it standalone when you've actually got Pro Tools open. And so I thought I'd give you a quick overview of the editor and show you what it does, and just give you kind of just a quick show of how you can edit your sounds from within this editor. So they've got a single, so this is the single window we've got open at the moment. So if I go around the editor and quickly show you what it does, there's the mode area here. We can choose to look at patterns, and then multis, and then singles, and then this is the bank button. If you turn that off, then you go in deep into the sound. We'll look at that in a sec. You've got your global settings here, where you can set up keyboard range, transpose, tuning, velocity on the keyboard, stuff like that. Whether the editor's working direct with the keyboard or whether it's working in virtual bank mode. At the moment it's working in virtual, so it's not synced. So every time I change anything, it does a quick system exclusive sync with it. It doesn't have to do that. I could actually, if I'd loaded it and synced it straight away, then it would all be in sync all the time. MIDI settings here, whether the arpeggiator receives the clock or not from Pro Tools, and I've tried it and it works. Then of course don't forget that the Venom actually is also an audio interface that you can use. So if you just want to take your Venom and do some stuff on Pro Tools, then you can use it. And what you can do is you can send the audio down the USB cable and use that. So you switch that on, and then the audio will be recorded directly down the USB cable, which is pretty cool. Then if you want to record in mono, you've got mono recording there. So come out of there for now. So that's what you're doing there. Then this is the screen where you choose stuff. A, B, C, and D. So you've got A, B, C. So you've got user banks and factory banks. And as you can see, I'm working through quite quickly, creating a new whole set of banks that will be available on the Air Users blog, which would be great for those who are buying it. And then there's the arpeggiator. That's where you set the on and off. You can tap the tempo. And of course, remember, when I'm doing stuff on the Venom, then it picks it up here. Can you see that? As I'm moving the knob on the Venom now, it's picking that up, which is quite cool. Very cool. So I'm busy getting some sounds together, and you can see I've come up with some pretty silly sounds and silly names anyway. So Pac-Man. I tend to give sounds names of what it reminds me of when I'm making the sound. So then this is the performance control area, and if you click through here, it shows you what they're all assigned to. If you're going deeper then, if we come now, then this is the editing area. So if you want to edit that sound, so let's get a different sound up. Let's go back and we'll go to A again. Choose warm lead. Hit the bank button again. So I could also stuff I could. It's got 3 oscillators, 1, 2, and 3 there. And if I right mouse click, I can then choose the different waveforms that I start off with. So and that's the voicing, whether it's mono or stereo, or whether we have it in unison. In unison, it just basically stacks all the oscillators on the voices on top of each other. So if we go in unison with 12, then it's literally in mono, and all the voices are used up to make one big sound, and then you detune them against each other, and you get some pretty cool stuff. Then there's the mixer area here, where you can mix the 3 oscillators, and you also have where you can add in the ring mod. That's where they bring the external input in. And I'll be showing you a video about bringing external audio through this, because it's very cool. We can do some really cool stuff where you can bring external in, then you can send it through the filters and the effects and the envelope and all that kind of stuff, which is cool. And so there's your amp envelope, your filter envelope, and your pitch envelope. And then you hit this button here, You get all the LFOs. Now the LFOs are then assignable in the mod matrix page. Now the mod matrix means I can take anything virtually, give you an idea, right mouse click, and then assign it to somewhere else. So I can take like envelope 2 and assign that to the pitch or something, or I could take envelope 1 and I could assign it to the amplitude, and that would give me the amplitude, not amplitude, and that would give me the ability then to let me give you a quick example. So if I just come here, so go here, this is on. So I'm going to get an LFO, this one, I'm going to get LFO 2 for example, put it on sample and hold. I'm going to mod here. I'm going to choose somewhere, so LFO 2, and I'm going to send it to the amplitude tube. LFO 2. Choose it. Go back here, I can then or tempo sync it, and I could 16ths or something. Take it out of mono mode and put it back into poly mode. So that's what you can do in the mod section. You can do all sorts of stuff. It's brilliant. And you can not only assign it to certain things, you can actually then assign, so for example, I've now got that going from the LFO to the amplitude. I can actually then assign it back to something else as well. So as you can see here, 6 velocity is affecting the mod amount, and then that's reassigned back to this modifier here, number 1, and 4 is then controlled. This is here, and that's the mod wheel. If I turn that up, wild. Then come here, you've got the auxiliary section. So we can choose the effects. There's all sorts of different effects there. Plate, room, reverb, lots of great delays and stuff. Choruses, flanges and phasers and stuff like that. So that's the aux effects. And then over here again in the LFO section, you've got the insert effects. At the moment there's a compressor on there, but I could do something like put a reducer in. Or distortion. I tell you what makes things really filthy if you start pushing up this pre-filter boost. So you get some real filth. So that's the kind of stuff you can do. So there's the aux section, and then there's the Arpeggiator Settings here as well. Now they have their own bank as well. We can choose your different arpeggiators, and then you got the multis as well, so we can go to multis. So I set up a multi earlier today, and I call it Erasure because it reminds me a little bit of Erasure. If I play it, you'll see. So as you can see, you can do some really cool things with the multis. Now you can create your own parts and actually bring them in as well, which is very cool. Now the other cool thing as well is called Patch Collider, which is really good. Let's say you've got a sound, and let's say we like this sound, which is called Guitar Chug, which is a sound. And I've got Eurostar here. Right, let's get one that's warm. It's a sweeper pad, I think. So let's say I want to get that one, and if I press the command key and choose Guitar Chug, I can mix them, I can blend them, and I can morph them. It's really cool. If you're going to morph, you hit that button there, and it just goes off and does some mad maths. It takes a second or so, and then it gives you all these different versions of it to try. So what this is now is lots of different variations of those two sounds combined. So if you're short of inspiration, not sport for it, you just hit this button and so this is just versions. So see, there's a cool sound. I love that. So it's called Morph. Then there's Blend. You can mix. You can mix the two together. And again. That's cool. So very, very, very cool. So that's a very cool thing as well, that when you get hold of this synth you'll be able to play with. So that's a quick overview. This is where all the performance controls are, as I said to you before. Shows you what they are and how they're set. And then when you make sets, you just then go File, Save, and save them as it. You set up your MIDI in and out ports here. Nice thing is called Collection View. Let's say you like stuff. You can very quickly collect stuff that you like. So let's say I like this Miami Vice sound. I can just literally throw it, just collect it and put it in here. And it's now in there. Just like a shortcut to all your favourites. So I've got a drum sound here. I like this sound. Let's say something like this. So let's say I want to pick that up, just drag it in. And that's in my shortcuts then. And literally I can just pick them up very quickly. So if I'm working in a live situation with a laptop or in a studio, I've just got this set that I've got there all the time. Very, very cool. And there's a MIDI monitor as well to see what's coming in. So if you want to start sticking stuff in. Tells you where it's coming in, what's coming in, all that kind of stuff as well. Very cool. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.